Right guys, I guess we should deal with this latest embarrassment coming out of ITV last week, which actually seems to be a regular occurrence these days. Some of you might remember, for instance, I pointed out the Lorraine show using the same photoshopped image of the Himalayas. You know, in the Lockdown Helps Climate Change segment that was so badly done it should actually be a crime. The pictures shown side by side are clearly the same image, but one appears to have been photoshopped by a 5-year-old, because if an adult did that and was paid for it, they should certainly be sacked. I mean, the things in the picture that are exactly the same apparently a year later proves the bullshit they are feeding to the public, and should show anyone they're just taking the piss out of you now. But a day or so after that show, ITV's This Morning had a little segment on the jab, which was being discussed by Dermot O'Leary, Alison Hammond, Matthew Wright, and some other tit I didn't bother to remember. Because in all honesty, it doesn't even matter who they are, it matters what they have said in my mind. As you will hear in a moment, when talking about the jab, the show's co-presenter Alison Hammond said she did not know if she would get it because she is hesitant. This naturally got the backs up of the COVID cultists on the show, who from where I was sitting appeared to be coercing Alison Hammond into following the sheep because she was told to rather than respecting her choice. She was not allowed to think for herself or give an honest opinion on her feelings towards something that is a personal choice we must never forget. As with anything, the choice to do or not do something is entirely up to the person it involves directly, and no one else should be butting their nose in at all. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I don't care if you love the jab, hate it, got it, will get it or won't get it in the future. That shit there is 100% up to the person to decide for themselves, and the reasons why you did or didn't do it is none of my fucking business and literally never will be. I do, however, take serious fucking issue with people using peer pressure to make someone conform to their agenda, which, as I said, it seems like the host and everyone involved was trying to do here. You know what, let's actually hear what they had to say, but first I will plug a video sponsor, and that sponsor is me, or should I say my BitChute and Odyssey channels. This sponsor pays absolutely sweet fuck all, but it's the best sponsor I can do, because YouTube are a bunch of snivelling shitweasels these days, as you know. So following me on my other social media platforms is likely vital at this point. Yes, it can be a pain in the arse, but life is a monumental pain in the arse these days, so suck it up and raid your Odyssey sign-up procedure like I did. But you know what, enough of all that, let's hear what these idiots actually have to say.
If you're 40 years old and over now, you can go and get your vaccine, and obviously I'm not in that category.
No,
just yet.
me and you will be the next tranche, won't we?
I'm still in the 20s, so it's going to be a bit of a while, a bit of a wait for me yet.
I remember when you were 10 and you did Big Brother, it was very good.
But you're going to get a jab, aren't you? You're going to do it.
We'll see.
You must do it.
We'll see.
Can
I'm
I say,
hesitant.
I had mine last Friday.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm hesitant.
Look,
I'm hesitant.
Don't be hesitant.
I
It
can be
makes
hesitant.
sense.
That's up to me to be
It's
hesitant.
up to you to be hesitant, but I'm just saying to you, don't be hesitant.
Okay.
Honestly, don't. All my
Alison,
friends
you said
have,
last week you
all my
listened
contemporaries,
to Grandpa Giles.
and my
You said
I
son.
do listen to him. I listen to Grandpa all the time.
If I could say, Alison, it's what now for me? 4 months on, and I'm still wheezing. I'm still coughing. It's still within me. And I would say anything that avoids you having to go through the virus is worth considering.
Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you for your concern.
It's only because we love you.
I know you do. I know.
So there you heard it. Not one of them accepted her choice, and they actually even continued to argue after she stated it's her right to be hesitant if she wants to be, which of course it is. This, in my mind, is absolutely shameful behaviour, but shows how crazy some of these lunatics can be. Not one of them had a valid reason to discredit her feelings at all. It was all just emotionally manipulative bullshit, likely because the show's top brass started screaming damage control in their ears. You know, they don't want them straying from the narrative, do they? Matthew Wright, though, in my mind, really takes the cake, talking about all these symptoms he said he suffers months later, despite clearly sitting on the TV for who knows how long each day without any of these symptoms being visible or even audible to the audience. I guess they must only appear at certain times, like after the show. Who knew symptoms would be so accommodating when you worked in television? I guess it's a good thing, otherwise the sheeple would not get to hear the latest propaganda this prat is ready to spew out. But I do have to say, well done to Alison Hammond for standing her ground on the issue and not letting them make choices for her. They wanted her to be a puppet, as we have seen many others do, in an attempt to win round members of their ethnic communities when it comes to getting the jab. These tactics obviously rarely work because people will just consider them shills the moment they start promoting it and ignore most, if not all, of what they say in future. Celebrity endorsements do not work with people because they are as fake and cringe as it gets. But you know what, I actually have a question for you as we finish this up. How many of you would do something because a celebrity told you to do it?